Hello, this is Alan Wheeler on my channel where I talk about spirituality and tarot. Today's topic is 5 approaches to tarot as a hobby. And my first introduction to tarot, this was the first deck I purchased, the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot, uh, because I wanted to use the cards for magic shows. So at the college where I teach, um, I sometimes perform tricks for the students, including for psychology classes. I do some mental magic shows, which involves folklore, um, pendulums, demonstrating uh, mind reading, and things like that. And so that is one approach, which is not one of the 5 that I'll talk about today, but that's one I started with and then became more and more involved. So the first one of the 5 I want to talk about today is divination. I think that's reading the cards is the first thought that comes to mind, even if not fortune telling per se. That idea of reading spreads like the Celtic cross spread. And this can also include, of course, reading intuitively, not having a set spread, doing daily draws. Of course, that includes reading for oneself or others. And certainly, you can see on the forums a lot of uh, amateurs and hobbyists who read for one another um, without going professional. Number 2, the second approach is more the therapeutic path. So I've listed it as meditation, uh, the approach of meditation. And this can include journaling. Again, you take your daily draw and then do free writing or um, contemplation on that card that you drew for that day. Going deeper, some people do path working, which comes from the Kabbalistic meditation on the meditating on the pathways of the tree of life, but it could be as simple as deeply thinking about a card, going into the scene, experiencing beyond the borders of the card, the environment, smelling, tasting, feeling, and experiencing that card in path working, using all the senses and all the experience, um, and breathing in and entering into that card. Some might go as far as to channel messages through a card and maybe conversing with the Fool or the Empress. And that would also relate to bonding with deity or archetypes personified through the cards. So that would be the more therapeutic approach, more spiritual approach than divination. Number 3 is study. So there's a lot, even beyond academic study, of the history of the cards, which you can certainly find in something like Robert Place's book, Tarot, Magic, Alchemy, Hermeticism, and Neoplatonism. That book is in the 2nd edition. It's really thick, really good background of the tarot. But there's also the Book of Thoth and guidebooks. And I enjoy myself digging deep and studying the different systems, the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Golden Dawn system, the Thoth tarot, probably one of the most difficult to delve into, all the correspondences in astrology and Hebrew letters and the Tree of Life. But even the Marseille deck will have background and books that you can look into how to interpret the pips and some of the traditional meanings of the cards. Aside from studying the systems, individual decks can be studied. So the theme of the deck could be studied. For example, the vampire tarot decks and looking into the lore of the vampires, or again, the alchemical tarot and the looking into the hermeticism and the alchemy of that. The Mother Peace tarot and looking into that theme of feminism there, and the goddess decks and so on. You could also study the styles as decks come out in the Gothic style or Art Deco, different artistic styles that the decks could assist in studying. Finally, beliefs could be studied. And so you have the Zen tarot or different pagan decks, such as the Druidcraft tarot. And so there's a lot to dig into, either studying the deck through those themes and beliefs, or using the tarot, on the other hand, using the tarot as a way of accessing those philosophies and deities and so on. So that's number 3, study. Number 4 is collecting. So if you don't want to use the cards for divination or meditation, you've studied all you want to, still you have left the ability to collect lots of different kinds of decks with hundreds and thousands of variations available. Now, as a collector, it could be that you actually want to use them for readings. Or you may be someone who reviews the decks on YouTube or online. For example, the Eclectic Tarot website has lots of good reviews of many decks collected there. And this brings me to number 5, which is the eclectic approach, and it may be you collect in order to study or collect various decks for therapeutic or meditation purposes. And so none of these approaches are pure. They can be mixed and matched, of course. So those are my 5 approaches to tarot as a hobby. If you don't buy number 5, the eclectic approach, you could look into using them in magic shows the way I did. So I'm sure there's lots of other approaches. Please comment and let me know of others. So thank you so much for watching. If you feel so led, please subscribe, share, like, click the bell to help with the algorithm and get this out to others who might be interested. As always, I hope you feel connection with people in your life, with online community, and on your spiritual path, whatever that may be. Take care.